Hello, my name is Chaplain Sarah Spar Stubbs, and I'm one of the chaplains at Matthews Glen, and I'm really grateful to spend a moment with you today. When I was about 13 or 14 years old, my dad had the opportunity for a promotion, and he was considering a job that would mean my family would have to move from our small town in western Kentucky to the Atlanta, Georgia area. I can remember feeling less than gracious about that. I loved my church and my school, my neighborhood, my friends, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. And I did not want to make that move. My dad eventually decided not to pursue that opportunity. I don't think it was because of me, but I just remember the difficulty of even the possibility of a move. Well, today we're going to hear a scripture where God is going to ask someone to move. It is the story of Abraham. This is kind of his opening story in Genesis chapter 12. He's still called Abram. And so when you hear me say Abram, I'm talking about Abraham. But in chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, this is what God said to Abram. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing." If you keep reading in that chapter in Genesis, we find that they did that. They went on the journey that God asked them to do. It was Abram and his wife Sarai, who would become Sarah, and their nephew Lot. And they journeyed from Haran to the northern part of Canaan around Shechem, and then deeper into Canaan. We don't get any words from Abram or his family, but what we do see is their faithfulness and their willingness to do what God asked them to do. It was hard work moving all of their possessions and animals and people, going on foot and moving to where God asked them to move. And I wonder inwardly if they felt less than gracious, like me in middle school, considering a move. I wonder if they felt less than gracious at the opportunity presented to them. But what we do see is the demonstration of their willingness, their obedience, their faithfulness to do what God asked of them. And even a couple of times in these early verses, as they were traveling and would get to their new place, Abram would build an altar and they would have a time of worship to God. I think he knew that God was with him and in this, even if it seemed impossible or really hard. Martin Luther King Jr. said this about faith. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. I think so much of our life is like that. We have to step out on faith because we don't know how the story is going to end, but we know enough to take the next step. And that is where the practice of our faith comes in. We don't have to take all of the steps today. We just have to take the next one. Abram was promised by God that he would be the father of a great nation. I'm not sure that he completely saw that in his lifetime, but think about how we look upon him as one of the founders of our faith, and we looked to his faithfulness. The promise came true, but he had to take it one step at a time. So I don't know about you today. I don't know what it is that you need to take the next step of. But I do know that God will see us through it. Just as God was with Abram and his family as they made this impossible journey, God will be with us too. We don't have to take all the steps today. We just have to take the next one. God is with us always, and we are grateful for that today. Thank you for spending a moment with me, and I will see you again soon. You take care.